There are 4 boons of blessings: longevity, health, peace, and strength in the world. May you who are adhering to the Supreme Dharma for the purpose of enlightenment on this planet attain these blessings. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Takanang karang tomeng ta sesami. In accordance with time, we will arise one Dharma of Supreme to expound in order to enlighten you, who are worthy beings on this planet. Sentient beings who exist on this planet tend to have good Dharma cultivated. An individual not adhering to good Dharma are unlucky and cannot exist on this earth. So, for a person to exist on this earth, he or she must adhere to good Dharma. Without adhering to good Dharma, that individual does not have luck to exist on earth. In terms of Dharma, it is not the Dharma of Akasal, bad Dharma. The Dharma of preference is the Dharma of Kusal, good Dharma. Any Dharma that leads to the benefit and prosperity of any individual is called Dharma of Kusal, good Dharma. It is the Dharma of Buddha, God. You may question about Dharma or about the luck or fate of a person. If you don't believe in God or Buddha, you may also believe that there is no birth or death. If you don't believe in merit, you may also believe that a person cannot eat or drink, as an example. So, this is to illustrate the disbelief of any philosophy. One must disbelieve everything. If one does not believe in good and bad karma, of good and bad merit, one must believe that there is no short or tall, poor or affluent among people. Who among the living does not want wealth on earth? Go and ask people. Even a dog wants wealth. Where is wealth among cats and dogs? Wealth number 1 is food. Food is the first wealth among cats and dogs. Anybody steals their food, they'll bite. Pertaining to human, there are those who were born poor and those who were born wealthy. There are those who were born smart and those who were born ignorant. There are those who were born with complete faculty and those who were born lacking. Some were born with both eyes, some with one or no eyes. Some were born without ears or nose, while others with them. Still, there are others born without limbs. Do you see? So, what is the reason? The explanation is, well, from a medical standpoint, the reason stems from that person's mother lacking nutrition, where she compromises her health and thereby compromising the integrity of the fetus in her womb. In terms of rich and poor, why is that there are those with complete faculty and cannot venture in commerce successfully? Why is that? It should be pondered closely in this world. There is no one born and brought in all his wealth from his previous existence with him. It has never been seen where an infant born along with gold, diamond, and rubies through the mother's womb at all. So, why do we see there are those who are rich and those who are poor? Why those who are good and those who are bad? We should consider these points. So, any being born with complete faculty on the planet, according to Buddhism, the Buddha, where all 1800 billion of them agreed, enlightened as a being with merit, where that being cultivated heaps of them in the past existence. That person has merit, where that person cultivated mountains of them. That is why that person is imbued with Kok Sambat, Yu Sambat, and Vaurava Sambat, of wealth. We elaborate to you where we want to say to you that indeed merits do exist. Merits do exist. There is no joking or lying to you of any sort. Merits definitely do exist. So, we will elaborate on the fruits of merits that exist. As an example, is an individual born and becomes a billionaire? This billionaire has heaps of wealth. We're illustrating the story of one billionaire in the epic of the Buddha Sakyamuni Gautama. His name was not the miser billionaire, but Kokol Sati. But in short, we'll call him the stingy billionaire. Kokol Sati, or the miser billionaire, had heaps of wealth totaled 80 volts. He was filthy rich with mountains of gold, jewelries, diamonds, rubies, etc. in his treasury of 80 volts. But for all his wealth, he was a stingy person. When he ate, well, he inherited his wealth from his deceased parents. So he was in charge of handling the gold, but he was very stingy. When he ate, he had his wife, or one of his 7 children, he had 3 daughters and 3 sons, 3 daughters and 4 sons, cook rice that were stale at the bottom of the bin first, never the top of the bin. Well, if father thinks about it, cooked rice from the bottom of the bin is pretty good, nothing wrong. And he ate the cooked rice with pickled vegetables from the garden he had. All his family and the servants eat like so daily. These vegetables, like carrots, daikon, mustard, etc., grown in his garden, were all pickled for the food supplement. Sakyamuni Buddha went for alms round to save sentient beings, namely the miser billionaire. When the miser billionaire saw the Buddha coming, he sighed. He signaled his wife and said, "Look there. This is what happens to an unlucky person. A person fated to scavenge at the bottom of the food chain will scour for food like so." The miser billionaire continued his verbal diatribe of the Buddha to his wife. He was fated to be beggar, and now he begs. His father bequeathed him an entire kingdom. What did he do? He gave it all up so that he can beg. He was meant for nothing but a beggar. You see how he lowers himself? The Buddha came from morning to high noon, hoping the billionaire would make offerings. Instead of offerings, he received retributions in return. The next day, the Buddha showed up at the billionaire's property again. Again, the miser billionaire talked trash of the Buddha. What a thick face he is. He has no shame. Can he see that he'll get no food from me? How bothersome. The Buddha stayed from morning to high noon. The miser billionaire ignored him. The next day, the Buddha came again. Again, the miser billionaire made his point of how stubborn the Buddha was. See how stubborn the Buddha is? He stays there even when no one is offering him food. The Buddha went to the miser billionaire's abode to beg for alms for a total of 7 days. And for all those 7 days, the miser billionaire totally ignored him. When the miser billionaire had his hair cut, he asked his barber, "Barber, I'm curious. Why do human, when they were born, why do they have to die? And before death, what are the signs to indicate that he is closer to death?" The barber replied, "Well, billionaire, if a person is near death, he has to grow old with gray hair." The billionaire told his barber, "Well, barber, when I'm near death, let me know." So the barber came to the billionaire's hair. So the barber came to cut the billionaire's hair on a regular basis every year until the billionaire reached 90 years old. Then the billionaire's head was full of gray hair. The barber plucked a strand and showed it to the billionaire. Evidenced by the gray strand, the billionaire knew he was near death. He thought to himself, "Before I die, I have to bury all my treasures completely." Not wanting anybody to have his wealth, he secretly buried them. He wouldn't let his wife nor his children or anybody know where he buried them. Every day he hoarded bits by bit of gold and buried them. One day he was exhausted from his hoarding and roamed his town. The townspeople saw the billionaire and prepared a savory dish to honor him. The miser billionaire saw the preparation of the dish and salivated. The townspeople offered him the pancake, and though the miser billionaire craved it, he'd rather drown in his own saliva than embarrass himself by eating the offered food. No matter what the townspeople put in front of him, the miser billionaire declined them all. He returned home and wrapped himself tightly in his blanket. His wife saw him all bundled up in a blanket and asked what was the matter. "Nothing," replied the miser billionaire. "There's got to be something wrong. Otherwise, why would you wrap yourself in a blanket for?" His wife persisted. "I'm in a dilemma, dear." "Why were you in such a case?" "I craved pancakes." "I've heard the townspeople offered you pancake. Why didn't you take it?" "I couldn't take their food. If I did, tomorrow they'll come to eat at my table. Who knows what else they may come to ask for tomorrow. So, to nip it in the bud, I declined their offer." So the miser billionaire didn't eat the pancake offered by the townsfolks, because he feared that someday they will come and ask things from him. The wife told her husband, "Well, dear, don't worry. Let me soak the rice and grind it to make the pancake for you." The miser billionaire stopped his wife. "Don't do it. Baking pancakes is no ordinary feat." "Why was it not an ordinary feat?" "Don't you see? When you poured the batter, the sizzling sound could be heard from one town to another and alert them to come here. Don't do it." "Well, dear, I'll make pancakes in the highest level of the house, the 7th level. That way, no sound could be reached to anybody." When the wife proceeded to soak the rice, he reminded his wife to take the oldest rice. So the wife soaked the rice, grounded it up, and prepared batter. At the highest level of the house, the 7th floor, she made the pancake for her husband. Moggallana Thera wanted to save the miser billionaire. The Buddha welcomed Moggallana Thera to try to save the miser billionaire, though he knew the miser billionaire could not be saved. Just when the wife of the miser billionaire was about to pour the batter, in front of the property of the miser billionaire was Moggallana. "Didn't I tell you, dear, about this pancake business? I told you not to do it. Now you see, we got a beggar in the front porch." "These beggars. They're mostly monks, the students of Siddhartha, the Buddha." "What a beggar lot they are. They all are." He told his wife to shutter all the doors, windows, and all the levels, even the highest level of the house, to make his pancakes. Thus heard, Moggallana materialized outside the window of the highest level of the house. "Didn't I tell you so?" He heard what we were about to do, and now he made himself linger outside the window of the highest level of the house. Well, let him stay there. He told his wife to make the pancake and use up all the batter. Then, what remained in the bottom of the pot, to dilute it with water and make pancakes from them and offer them to Moggallana. So Moggallana received the end pieces of the pancakes and the miser billionaire and returned to the temple. He offered some to the Buddha before partaking it himself. The miser billionaire aged and died and reincarnated as a dog. When the Buddha went for alms round, the dog barked and tore the robe of the Buddha. Then the Buddha said, "Hey, Gagalsati, When you were a human, you hated the takut. Now, when you are a dog, you still hated the takut. The former miser's billionaire son overheard the Buddha's remarks about the deceased father. Why did the Buddha say my father became a dog? He was curious. But he didn't say anything. He pondered about it. My father was a wealthy man. How come upon his death? Where did all the wealth go? Not one piece of gold was seen at all in all the 80 vaults. When the dog kept on barking at the Buddha, whenever the Buddha crossed, the 7 children paid their obeisances to the Buddha and asked about it because the Buddha was famed as the know-it-all, a good prophet. Exalted Buddha, why did you call the dog at our household as Gokosati and said that when he was human despise you and when as a dog still despise you? Why did you call our father a dog? The Buddha addressed the congregation of the 7 children. Your father was a very stingy man. When he died, he reincarnated as a dog. Do you know where all the wealth went? We couldn't find it anywhere. Then you must observe the dog's sleeping places. Wherever the dog sleeps, that is where the wealth is buried. Dig there and you will find it. Donate some to the charity and radiate merit to your father, and he'll receive it. So the children returned home and observed the dog and noted where the dog slept. They dug where the dog was noted to sleep and found the buried treasure, just like the Buddha mentioned. So they believe the Buddha. When they believe the Buddha, they believe in good and bad deeds. When they believe in good and bad deeds, they began to perform charity. They summoned the Buddha to expound Dharma for them. In gratitude for the Dharma the Buddha expounded, they offered Pachai Bun, Chan Sok Krayay, Sochia Vitchia, Chak Maha Bangskol, as types of deeds in order to radiate merits to their parent as a dog, so that they could be reborn in the heavens. When the children performed those deeds of Pachai Bon, Chan Sokarai, Sakarai, Sochiv Vichiv, Chak Mahabang Skull successfully, the Buddha saved them, and when the dog died, he was born in the heavens. The 7 children used the wealth and built a Buddha statue, each as offering to the Buddha. They built resting houses, schools for Pali, schools for Dharma, and schools for various majors. They built roads and hospitals, just to name a few, in order to radiate the merits to their father. From the good deeds of his children, the father was born in Chato Maha Richika heaven, where in plenty were Kok Sambat, Yut Sambat, and Borava Sambat, where in plenty were the devas surrounding him and looked up to him in heaven and often asked blessings from him. So, let's ponder. That's wealth. When after building, the devas blessed the individuals to live 1,000 magical years in heaven. After this time was up in heaven, he came back on earth and was born as a king, presiding over a kingdom called Nakor Balay Nasai, Nakor Balay Nasai, and that kingdom was a wealthy kingdom. And that kingdom was a wealthy nation. Even the peasants were found prosperous. No one was seen impoverished at all. And the king led them in the ways of the Dharma as well. One day, a king from a nearby nation came and waged bets with the king. The bet was over the entire kingdom. If the presiding king could solve the riddle that the challenging nation posed, then there would be no war over the country. If the king couldn't solve the riddles, then there would be war. if the king didn't want war, to abdicate the kingdom to become slaves. The presiding king worried and prayed to all his previous stores of merits of building resting houses, Buddha statues, schoolhouses, etc. to help. The prayer was heard by Indra, who dispatched the Deva to come and help. The challenging king posed a riddle as such. Pertaining to the human beings on earth, what made them strong? Indra, Brahma, and Deva helped the king by telling the king to pose a counter question such as, pertaining to the human beings on earth, what made them weak? If both kings could solve the riddle, then it would be a tie. Indra, Brahma, and Deva told the king to listen for the answer. Whatever the answer was for the first question, what made humans strong, we can say the same thing could make them weak. So the challenger asked, what made humans strong? The presiding king of the nation countered question, well, what made the humans weak? The challenger replied, weak because of heart. The presiding king said, strong is also due to the heart. So there was a status quo and the country had peace. Why did the god Indra, Brahma, and Deva fated to help the king? It was due to the time when he offered that bit of pancake to Mangolana in his previous lifetime. That was how powerful the feat of merits when performed. Even when a person did it grudgingly to an enlightened being. So, you may understand, in this story, it illustrates that merits come from the karma of a person, the cultivation of good deeds. Bad fruit, also known as bap, also comes from the karma of a person, the cultivation of bad deeds. Good merits and bad merits all arise from the karma, or actions of a person. So, any individual striving cultivating good merits, they will get good merits. Any individual striving in cultivating bad merits will get bad merits. So, you may understand clearly what is called good merit, bon, and what is called bad merit, bap. Pertaining to human beings on the planet, some questions where humans come from. Where did we come from? Some answered that humans come from chimpanzees because they don't understand. And they question further, if humans come from chimpanzees, where did this planet come from? That is, where did Earth come from? Where did water come from? Where did fire come from? And where did air come from? If one can find where earth, water, air, and fire come from, one will know where humans come from. And we will further inform you. You probably won't believe it. We will tell you that a human being has a spirit, has a heart, has a life. Nature has a spirit, has a heart, has a life. Earth has a spirit, has a heart, has a life. Fire has a spirit, has a heart, has a life. Air has a spirit, has a heart, has a life. Water has a spirit, has a life, has a heart, has a life. These elements all have spirits, hearts, and life, but we probably don't think so. Earth has no heart, no spirit, no life. Fire has no heart, no spirit, no life. Water has no heart, no spirit, no life. Air has no heart, no spirit, no life. You have no idea that you have insulted them. They're gods. You insulted them by saying they have no heart, no spirit, no life. In actuality, humans are the ones who have no heart. We are said to have no heart. We are said to have heart, spirit, and life, such as earth, water, fire, and air should have heart, spirit, and life. Nature around us, they all have hearts, spirits, and life. An individual enlightened that earth has a heart, has a spirit, has life. Fire has a heart, has spirit, has life. Water has heart, has spirit, has life. And air has a heart, has spirit, has a life. Then that individual is said to be a Buddha. He has become a Buddha because he has awakened to the elements as having hearts, spirits, and life. Nature also has spirit, heart, and life, just like all of us. When you know that a tree has a spirit, has heart, has life, we cannot destroy it. We can only have compassion over it. Right now, we humans on earth accuse earth, fire, air, and water as devoid of heart, spirit, and life. We accuse nature as devoid of heart, of spirit, of life, where nature could not talk to us, etc. Why? What was the reason? The reason was born through ignorance, lack of knowledge, avijja. Humans are ignorant of nature. Nature are ignorant of humans. Animals are ignorant of humans. Elements are ignorant of humans. As such, no one knows one another. They are all ignorant of each other, of each other's hearts, soul, and life. Through the individual's ignorance, lack of knowledge of anything, right there is the root cause of insult and injury. One insults earth, water, fire, air, and nature. As a consequence from insulting nature, the four elements, we suffer. The bad fruits come to stamp on us, hinder us, create pain and suffering for us. These elements hurt us because we hurt them. So, today, nature destroys human because humans destroy nature. Every entity on this planet destroys each other because no one recognizes one another. No one believes in one another, loves one another, have compassion over one another. As a result, nature destroys in return. And this destruction of nature by humans reach a level of 70 to 80%. Humans destroy 80% of nature. As for nature, nature destroys only 10% of humans. Do you see? Nature has more compassion than humans. Nature right now only destroys 10% of humans, whereas humans destroy 80% of nature. So if humans won't uphold high dharmas and refrain from destroying nature, sooner or later nature will completely destroy all humans on this planet. It can lead to such drastic measures if humans did not refrain from destruction. If they did not meditate, did not adhere to dharma or compassion and exchange insult and injury for love and compassion. If humans won't refrain from destruction, sooner or later, nature will destroy humans completely. Whether or not you believe, we don't know. We only have compassion to all of you and persist in only informing you so that you may know about the relationships between nature and humans. We know the characteristics of humans, and we know the characteristics of nature, that they do have a heart, they do have a soul, they do have a life. As such, we'd like to inform you to not destroy nature, because nature will destroy you back. If you don't consider this carefully, don't consider in the good way, in the way of benefit, then it will be definite that nature will destroy you back sometime in the future. Our planet, earth, water, fire, air, these four are our friends, and they are also siblings to each other. Because earth, water, fire, and air, not one can exist without the other. They all depend on each other. Earth cannot be without water. Water cannot be without earth. Earth without fire can't exist. Fire without water can't exist. Absolutely, they can't exist without one another. These four. In one epoch, 4 million years prior to the emergence of our galaxy, before the existence of our planet, 4 million years. By 4 million years. Do you understand? 4 million years before the emergence of our world, there were 4 Indras who went to meditate in this realm called realm or world. These 4 Indras went to meditate in the hope to becoming Buddhas in this 4 world called Orani or Devaloka realm, because this realm had no human, no deva, nor any being existed. This world has one presiding element. That presiding element was space, also known as emptiness. That realm could be called the realm of the sky or Orani realm, or the realm of Devalok. Father dubs it as the sky world because the sky has no living on it. No deva, no element, no living on it. It is empty except for the 4 Indras. The 4 Indras wanted to meditate to become Buddhas. Because of this supreme desire, the 4 siblings went to the Devalok realm to meditate for 18 billion years. They relinquished all the wealth, like food, drinks, luxuries, found in the Indra realm completely, and adopted the characteristics of emptiness as found in the realm called the sky realm or the Devalok realm, 4 million years prior to the existence of our planet. One Buddha found enlightenment of Apoa Jatavia, which is Apoa Tit. Another Buddha found enlightenment in Patavi Tit. Another Buddha found enlightenment in Viyo Tit. And another found enlightenment in Dechao Tit. These 4 Indras had found enlightenment and become Buddhas for definite, where they meditated for 18 billion years prior to the birth of this planet. After meditating for 18 billion years, they achieved the status of Buddha as Apoa Tit, Patavia Tit, Dechao Tit, and Viyo Tit, called Buddha, Patavi, Buddha, Dechao, etc. When they attained enlightenment and became Buddha, they wanted to save sentient beings, but they had no idea where because they couldn't find any sentient beings. At that time, there was Maitreya Bodhisattva who meditated in the sky, in Avaka, for 7 years, heaven time. The 4 Buddhas found enlightenment, went from north to south, west to east, in the hope to find sentient beings to enlighten, and found Maitreya Bodhisattva as a Brahmin suspended in the sky in meditation. When they found the Brahmin, the 4 Buddha expanded themselves to be bigger in order to enfold the Brahmin who was the Maitreya Bodhisattva in the sky. The Brahmin understood that these 4 Buddha demonstrated their powers in order to subdue him, so he must make himself bigger than the 4 Buddhas altogether. So, when the Brahmin made himself bigger and bigger than the 4 Buddhas 4 million times, looking up, the 4 Buddha yelled, "Hey, what kind of dharma did you practice that allow you to expand yourself so big like so?" Maitreya Bodhisattva replied, "O ye Buddha, I want to respect you, but you appear to have no respect for Tathagat at all. Okay, why don't you shrink yourself?" "Well, you know, we will recognize you as mightier than us," replied the 4 Buddhas. So the Maitreya Bodhisattva shrunk lower and lower until there were 5 Buddhas at eye level. When they were all at eye level, they expounded their own individual dharmas in act of relating or sharing sotaniya knowledge with each other. In the act of relating Dharma, it was found that these Buddhas did not found Dharma in equal measures. First Buddha found 40,000 sutras. The second Buddha found 30,000 sutras. The third, 20,000 sutras. The fourth, 84,000 sutras. Wait, that was wrong. First Buddha demonstrated 4 million sutras. The second Buddha demonstrated 3 million sutras. The third demonstrated 2 million sutras. And the fourth Buddha demonstrated 84,000 sutras. As for the fifth Buddha, he demonstrated 18 billion sutras. And I'll repeat that again. The first Buddha demonstrated 4 million sutras. The second Buddha demonstrated 3 million sutras. The third demonstrated 2 million sutras. The fourth demonstrated 84,000 sutras. And the fifth demonstrated 18 billion sutras. Maitreya Bodhisattva demonstrated 18 billion sutras, greatest of all. So for the four Buddhas demonstrated much less Dharma than the Maitreya combined. As such, the four Buddha designated the Maitreya Bodhisattva as the eldest brother. That is why four Buddhas listened to the advice of the fifth eldest Buddha. They ask, how can we go and enlighten the gods, Indras, Brahmas, and Devas? Maitreya Bodhisattva replied, O ye Buddhas, we can't enlighten Indras, Brahmas, and Devas at all without the existence of human beings at all. If we can create humans, we can enlighten Indras, Brahmas, and Devas. Unless we can create humans, we cannot enlighten Indras, Brahmas, and Devas, our 33 world systems, and the world of 1800 billion at all. If we can't create our own world, we cannot save them. So they have to create their own realm. The four Buddhas ask the fifth, O exalted Buddha, how can we create our realm? So these Buddhas who found enlightenment in the Apo-Thiet, Patavi-Thiet, Techo-Thiet, and Vyo-Thiet flew into the sky and disintegrated themselves. They dissolved into their respective element of enlightenment. The first Buddha dissolved himself. First was Buddha Apo-Thiet. When disintegrated, there were plenty of water and became the ocean. So Buddha Apo-Thiet dissolved into the ocean of two properties, salt and fresh. So our body has two properties of water, both salty and fresh. The second Buddha, called Techo-Thiet, disintegrated and became fire, so the water became hot. The next Buddha, who was enlightened in Vyo-Thiet, dissolved himself and became air and blew the water and created waves. The next Buddha, enlightened in Patavi-Thiet, dissolved himself. The wind blew on the waves back and forth and exposed the earth. These Buddhas all became elements. As for their soul, they remained in the sky to become four Buddhas called Buddha Kokosanto, Buddha Kauniakomano, Buddha Kasapao, and Buddha Sakyamuni Gautama. The fifth Buddha would be Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha did not disintegrate his elements at all. Instead, he will materialize his element. At that time, the four Buddha dissolved themselves and became the elements: Apo-Thiet, Techo-Thiet, Vyo-Thiet, and Patavi-Thiet. Apo-Thiet is water. Techo-Thiet is fire. Patavi-Thiet is earth. Vyo-Thiet is air. So, these are the four elements: earth, fire, water, and air. These are all Buddhas, or gods, that we say God created earth, water, fire, and air. We don't know that the Buddha created earth, water, fire, and air. These four Buddhas created them. And the souls of these Buddhas remain in the sky, or heaven, so that they could come back on earth to be born and become a Buddha on earth. because it was their wish that they made while they were in the sky meditating for 18 billion years to be able to enlighten human beings. So they could enlighten humans. One Buddha could save humans for 40,000 years, another for 30,000 years, another for 20,000 years, and Kokosanto saved humans for 40,000 years. Gaonet Komano Buddha saved humans for 30,000 years. Gasapao Buddha saved humans for 20,000 years, and Sakyamuni Buddha with 84,000 sutras could save humans for 5,000 years. So, Kokosanta Buddha found 4 million sutras. Gaonet Komano Buddha found 3 million sutras. Gasapao Buddha found 2 million sutras. Sakyamuni Gautama Buddha found 84,000 sutras, where his age was over 80 years old, while the age of his epic is 5,000 years. Kokosanto Buddha found 4 million sutras, and his epic lasted 4 million years also. Gaonet Komano Buddha found 30 million sutras, and his epic lasted 3 million years as well. Gasapao Buddha found 2 million sutras, and his epic lasted 2 million years as well. As for Sakyamuni Buddha, he found 84,000 sutras. His epic lasted 5,000 years. After 5,000 years' time, the era will be the Maitreya's Buddha's epic. But at this time, Maitreya Buddha as a bodhisattva is assisting Sakyamuni's Buddha's religion to realize its fated time of 5,000 years, because the religion is in danger due to the fact that adherents lack perseverance, where they don't believe in Buddhism any longer. So, Maitreya Buddha as a bodhisattva came down on earth to rescue Sakyamuni's Buddhism to realize its fated potential of 5,000 years, and advertise or broadcast Maitreya's Buddha's religion as a continuing religion for the sake of enlightenment until the end of the world. The Maitreya Buddha, for every 500 years, he reincarnated on earth once. Every 500 years, he reincarnated on earth once, and he said on earth until the end of time, where he perseveres in enlightening all humans on earth completely to nirvana or higher heavens. He preserved in enlightenment. He preserved in enlightening humans on earth to high heavens completely. Those lack merits cannot meet the Maitreya Buddha at all. Those with high merits and kasal can meet the Maitreya Buddha. World War III will happen because asuras, demons that can assume human form, and various other evil entities like ghosts and goblins, assume the body of humans and made human hate each other, slaughter each other, etc., creating havoc on earth. Those with heavy level of bad karma will be wiped out with the waves of war. Those with higher levels of good merits will remain on earth. Only then could Maitreya Buddha appear to save humans from now onward. So, only those who persevere in building merits, provide charity, build Buddhas, rest houses, schools, temples, etc., can gain merits to meet the Maitreya Buddha, where in his epic of ruling Dharma, people will have equal wealth, equal merits. They will all look the same, have the same health, same age, same beauty, same richness, same peace and prosperity. Where nature is their ally, in peace and prosperity, the humans increase their lifespan from 220 years up to 80,000 years during Maitreya Buddhism. So earth, water, fire, and air, they are all created by God, Buddha. Nature all belong to God. Everything is created by God, so God, Buddha, can bless a person that if that person does good deeds. These gods will provide you so that you are lacked for nothing. When Maitreya Buddhism arrives, the four Buddhas will bless you 100% under Maitreya Buddhism, no one is lacked for nothing. Everyone will be imbued with health, happiness, peace, prosperity, and longevity. No one is sick, nor are they separated from their loved ones. They will have nature shower them with blessings, and they will have definiteness in everything where it is the law of nature. If they are destined to die at 220 years, they would die at 220 years, not a day before or a day after. They will have peace until the end of time, only for those who are meritorious enough to meet Maitreya Buddha. So let's end the Dharma Desna before we end. Let's gather all the merits together and radiate them to all of you so that you attain Buddhahood. The expounded Dharma can now officially come to its conclusion, showing of the Buddha. May all Buddhists Anumandana. These are Buddha amulets. Some of these are depicted having their hands praor covering their face while in a meditative position. This is a depiction of the 4 Buddhas who meditate in the sky for 18 billion years, and each enlightened to become a Por Tiet, Patavir Tiet, Dicho Tiet, and Viyo Tiet, respectively. They became Buddhas and created this planet and saved these elements as commemoration. This is one Buddha, a second Buddha with this lighter color, a third one is another color, but it is not shown. For now, we'll show only 2 representations of Buddhas. The remaining 2 Buddhas, we'll leave it for the next available date to show them to you. Right now, shown are Buddha Dicho Tiet, fire, and Buddha Patavir Tiet, earth. This is Dicho and this is Patavir Tiet. Next time we'll show you the rest of the Buddhas. They sat in this stance while meditating for 18 billion years to become a Buddha. And they have so much power. Those who have them close to one's person can be protected from harms like a bullet or any incoming shell during war. They can help a person be invisible from danger and retard evil entities. These Buddhas are for protection, so may all Anumandana